posture.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Trying to be... Newscasters have this in, like, amazing posture.
Is that your New Year's resolution?
I always start out like this, and then by, like, minute 12, I'm, like, 4 inches shorter.
I do that, too. There we go. Chelsea's mic.
Oh, YouTube now? Mic check, mic check. Five o'clock, Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. You're watching Tony and Chelsea live. And this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is great. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. They feature beautiful, award-winning templates, 24/7 customer support, and it's flexible for any kind of website. You just don't need a photography portfolio. You can have a doctor's office, or you can make jewelry. What else could you do, Tony?
What else, Siobhan? What other sites,
Siobhan
what
has
other
good ones.
professions would benefit from a Squarespace portfolio?
A mortician?
Why do you put me on the spot like this?
You just have to name any profession.
How about
A cobbler.
A cobbler.
A cobbler. Good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Cobblers need a Squarespace
Yes.
website too. So if you are a cobbler,
Of course you
go to squarespace.com/Tony, get a free 14-day free trial. It's also free. And if you decide you like it, you can get 10% off using the coupon code portfolio. We'll take a look at a Squarespace portfolio today. If you want us to look at yours, go to sdp.io/link. Thank you, Squarespace.
If you want to talk to us, you can go to #TCLive on Instagram or Twitter and submit your questions or comments there. You can also just do it in the conversation that's going on YouTube right now. It's probably off topic already. And Siobhan's going to call through all of those and relay some of them to us.
Justin, what are you drinking tonight?
The tears of babies.
Dogfish Head.
60 minute. My favorite beer.
Classic.
Right. Justin's working Twitter and switching the cameras and trying to keep everything together. Shadows today. We're looking at your shadow pictures. So pictures where the shadow is like a key subject in it. Not just any picture with a shadow.
Yeah.
Everything has shadows.
You know what the password is today?
Salmon.
Try guessing that one, guys. So next week,
go to sdp.io/submit to send your picture in.
Excuse me, this cough is hanging on. Next week, our theme will be natural framing. It can be through a doorway. It can be through leaves or trees. And this one, it's like a pedestrian walkway framing the subjects. Natural framing. Get creative. Try not to be too cliche.
Yeah, like, could it be through an incorrect lens hood?
It could be, but I won't be impressed.
What if it's through your own eyelids?
I don't even know how that would happen. That sounds disgusting.
Get creative, Chelsea. Why do I have to always be the creative one around here?
I don't know.
Hold on. I have a question for you right off the bat.
Whoa.
Okay.
Looking at these submissions, do silhouettes count as shadows?
No. That's not a shadow.
I mean, the figure is in shadow.
No, it doesn't count.
Okay.
I think silhouettes could be a theme for another day, but unless you just feel like we're not going to get enough shadow pictures and you want to take silhouette pictures.
Yeah, we can do silhouettes another time. That's a whole other thing.
What about DJ shadow pictures?
DJ shadow will
totally.
Count.
It's legit.
But what if they have a cat named Shadow? It's a gray area, I think.
You want to premiere this travel show that we've been talking about for 4 years now?
I'm so excited and so...
3 years, I guess.
I'm so nervous, but Tony and I have been traveling around and we've been talking about this travel show. You probably heard us. It's called Wanderlust. And for our first episode, we asked you to send us videos, and some of you did. And then we chose some of you, and we went to where you live, and we stayed with you. We chose Eric and Stephanie Lowenbach. We went all the way to California with Justin, and we stayed in their house, and we did this road trip with them, and it was amazing. We gave some photography advice along the way.
Yeah, there's lots of tips. It's fun, and it's instructional. Yeah. You'll get to know us a little bit. You'll get to know the Lowenbachs, and lots of, like, behind-the-scenes style, like what it's like to really be doing landscape photography.
So we're debuting it to you now. Nobody's seen it before, and I don't think we've even listed it yet. So
No, only the first episode is up, but you can get it at stp.io/WL1. Maybe do that after the live show. And then the other ones are,
why'd you tell them now?
I don't know. Because yeah, I did. Anyway, stp.io/WL1. Let us know what you think.
It's the first episode. We have a few more to put up, so.
Yeah.
So on the 26th, not next week, but the week after that, we're going to have fashion photography as a theme. You really are going to want to set time aside and actually be there live for this one, because Roxy Rodriguez is going to be our guest. She's an incredible fashion photographer. She was on Top Photographer. I met her. She's incredibly nice, really creative, very talented. You can see more of her work here. She shot for various designers and things, and she really thinks outside the box. She has a very fresh perspective, and I respect the heck out of her. You guys are going to want to be there.
Yeah, I like her style a lot because it's not the same old traditional fashion photography. It has this very modern edge, which is almost like a candid feeling. Mm-hmm. Like it's not snapshotty. It's not snapshotty. She's extremely deliberate about it all, but it still has that feel like you just got a moment in time captured.
Yeah, she's really talented.
It's just a really fantastic style. Looking forward to that. Okay, maybe we should go take a look at pictures from some of our readers.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I'll import that while Siobhan asks us a question.
We had, Siobhan.
I don't know, or you can
Siobhan doesn't
entertain
have
people.
questions. We had
Okay.
so much fun with the long
I
box.
do.
Huh?
I have one.
Oh, you do.
Okay.
What is it?
Sorry, at the beginning of the show, I'm just going through pictures.
Yeah,
I
I
did not
know.
look at the
I
chat
felt
at all,
weird
but
throwing
I
it to
had
you.
one beforehand. Do you have any plans on traveling south to see the total solar eclipse this August, or will you be waiting until 2024 when it swings up north? Also, any creative ideas for shooting during a total solar eclipse?
I don't have any answers for this.
I don't either.
I guess no, I don't have any plans for the solar eclipse. I've not even thought about it.
No, but I'll be thinking of ideas. So thanks for putting it out there.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Wonder how far south you have to go.
All the way.
One thing I like about shadow pictures is that you can show a single subject from multiple angles. And we see that element here a couple of times, like the street light there looks very one-dimensional. It just looks like a line. But when you look at the shadow, you actually see the shape if you take the time to kind of study it. The same thing with the grading. You don't see much of it because it's mostly in profile, but the shadow does allow you to see it from that other angle.
I like the color, but it distracts from the shadow. But so I'm not sure. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot going on there.
The shadow is the subject in this one, so props for that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You just changed the contrast there a little bit to kind of accentuate that and make it a little more distinct. Nice shot.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
This reminds me of David Lynch. Like, it's very spooky, dreamy.
Yeah, people have done a good job with this. Sometimes these more obscure topics,
I'm going to give this a
you never
pick.
know what you're going to get, but that's people are nailing it. Oh, that's really interesting.
This one's cool, too.
I'm going to give that one a pick. There's something I really like about it. It's unusual. It's eye-catching. It's not like anything I've ever seen before.
I like it because the traffic light looks like one of those mid-century style floor lamps that kind of scoops over your sofa. And then there's this sofa-looking thing. I don't know. It just works for me. It's neat.
I like
Did
that
we
it
give it a
includes a
pick?
little German humor. Did you read that he explained the humor in it? Maybe we shouldn't read this live, but
Yeah. I'm going to go
you
back
can
to that.
pause and. This is
Whoa.
gorgeous.
That is very cool.
I definitely give that one a pick. This is for real? Like, wow, where is this? A sideways tank. So this is like a water tank. Holy cow. How are the shadows even forming that line to the?
I don't know, but it's very cool.
Oh, maybe because they're wrapping around a circular shape. That was amazing. Congrats on that last
you're
picture.
Right. Yeah.
It's just gorgeous the way the lines work, right?
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, that's I absolutely
would
love that
frame
picture.
I would print that. That's a printer for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We keep going back to it. This one is nice because the landscape is still prominent, but you see the people in there, so it tells a bit of a story. So I like that about it.
I'll say that to me, it feels a little bit accidental. You know, if the shadows were doing something deliberate, like they had their hands out or
Murdering.
something. But this is like, it's almost reminiscent of real estate photography where the realtor takes the pictures. You always see the realtor's
That makes
shadow
me
in all those pictures.
crazy.
I know, but it happens all the time. Regular car reviews, that guy can never
Get out
work
of his
out a
own
shadow.
damn way. I love that channel, but man,
I think he does it deliberately at this point.
I'd say, I guess the shadows are adding some leading lines. I wouldn't say that they are the subject though, but it's still a nice picture.
Yeah, I think it's a nice shot. This is also a good example of natural framing. Yeah, that helped
Warm it, baby.
warm it up a little.
Who's this cat? I like these shadows in the background. And I like the way that they're kind of bringing your attention to the cat's eye. I wouldn't say that they're really the subject of the photo, but it's still a very nice picture. Oh, they
Oh,
made
the
a
shadows
heart.
make a heart.
Oh my gosh.
That's cute.
Oh my gosh. Let's
Yeah,
put it in
That's clever.
B&W.
And black and white definitely helps that out. I wish we could have moved that thing in the background.
So good.
Yeah, just simplify it a little bit.
We'd get that out of there.
The shadows here don't. I think this is somebody
This is a
posing with
person.
their arm up like this,
Spooky.
but the shadow itself is so poorly focused that it's hard to, it doesn't pop immediately.
It's abstract. I like that about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Shadow Man. Oh, you're spooky. Jimbo.
This is just a gorgeous picture.
I'm gonna.
I just got to give that one a pick. I mean, the shadows are not that distinct in it. It's more about that. No, the shadows are really distinct because they form all these leading lines that take you right back to the tree. It's a beautiful picture. Be careful around the tree in the processing. Like it almost got a little, maybe it didn't.
I think
Sometimes you see artifacts when it's shrunken down smaller. Great shot.
I'm gonna say the shadows are not really the subject. The woman is. And
Yeah.
And in that case, like there's not a lot of interest in the foreground, so I might actually make her more prominent since she's the most interesting part of the photo. Dang, you make me so hungry. This is a modern still life. I think that the shadows in this give it a very morning vibe, so I think that I would play with that and warm it up like it's morning light.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I woke up really early and the morning light is coming through my blinds and I have the best breakfast and Tony also got me a flower.
Yeah, warming it up really helped. Okay. Yeah, I guess the shadows definitely create a more of a
Leading
focal
lines.
point.
They kind of lead you towards the center.
It feels a little bit accidental, but that's okay. It works. Felt too orange to me.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Here's
is gorgeous.
a person who gets it. I'm going to give it 5 stars and a pick because I'm proud of you.
Yeah, this picture, they clearly actually composed it around the shadows. Nicely done.
Do you get it? Oh, yeah. I think you were definitely considering the shadow when you took this picture, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to just increase the contrast here.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily it doesn't show you a different angle of the subject or add a lot to it, but it does, I don't know, create some sort of like duality there.
Yeah.
It's like they have a big flash on the floor or something.
Yeah. And the cat is impressed by his own shadow.
Yeah.
Look at his little weird Batman profile, like his little nose. Shadow. I guess the shadows around it are kind of the natural framing element bringing out the subject. So
I think it's a cool picture. Yeah, I don't know that it tells much about shadows for me. I'm a little bit bothered by this like diagonal line here, which just seems, don't you feel like,
didn't bother me.
I don't know if it's even possible to crop it out. I like the picture, but maybe we can. What if we just get rid of all those?
He's cropping. Crop it like it's. I like the negative space, but we can agree to disagree. Oh, Well, the shadows here show the texture of the plant. This is an abstract one.
Yeah, this is something I'd use as an example of the importance of side lighting, because if this was front lighting, like with an on-camera flash, you would not see the texture. It would just be completely flat. So you need those little micro shadows between every vein in the plant to know its own
I
texture.
think this would work well as a series.
Yeah.
Oh, look at their shadow in the puddle.
Yeah, nice kind of reflection. There are shadows there. I don't think they're a big part of the story, but it's a nice picture. Shadows, hard topic to stick to.
I like this one.
I've taken a lot of shadow pictures. I just kind of imagine more people did that too.
This one's all about the shadow.
Yeah, I think it's actually interesting that
This one has a Hasselblad.
they cropped out her head. That definitely makes the shadow more the focal point, and because it's a wide angle, it's kind of extremely distorted.
I kind of like the mystery of it.
Yeah,
Who is this headless
it's
woman?
unusual. I'm just pondering whether I want to give it a pick or not. It's such
Do
a
it.
creative
It made you
composition.
think.
All right, I'll give it a pick. Made me think about it.
Oops. Well, there are definitely a lot of shadows in this picture, but they add to the composition because you're kind of cutting out this side and you're focusing more on her abdomen. But I don't think that shadows are the subject.
Yeah, agreed.
But it's a shadowy picture, and it's nice.
Yeah, it is a nice shot.
Um,
This is just like a picture of clouds. I don't think it's a reflection,
It's a
but I don't think
reflection.
there are any shadows even in the picture. But it is a cool shot.
yeah. That's a shadow. Shadow whisk.
Yeah, and it does create a more interesting composition. It's clear they were deliberate about it.
I think that you're on your way somewhere. Like, I'm not really compelled by a whisk alone, and the background is kind of distracting because the grain of the wood is really fighting with the lines of the whisk.
Yeah.
But I like your idea of using shadow to create kind of this mirror effect. So I would build on this. That's it.
Okay.
We're done. Let's go. Let's go
Good night,
party,
guys.
Justin.
Woohoo!
A couple of bits of news that we didn't cover last week. If you're into droning, DJI released what looks like an awesome kind of field monitor, which goes up to 2,000 nits,
What?
which
What's that?
it's probably like 4 or 8 times brighter than your typical smartphone. And
Oh, because you're in the sun.
yeah, if you are the type who uses either your phone or a live view screen on a camera in the sun, you know, it can be really hard to be able to see it. That's one reason viewfinders are so nice. Anyway, I'm just glad to see somebody releasing a display that can be properly viewed in the sun. It seems like a requirement to me that all of our cameras, their live view should be bright enough that you could view it in full sun, but that's never the case. I don't know why they don't make displays brighter. So thanks for innovating there. I also wanted to cover this like cool touchscreen tablet drawing thing that Dell made. Mostly because I think it's kind of perfect for the way that you work, Chelsea. They announced it at CES, and it's just like Wacom has one of these similar screens. But it's nice that Dell made it. I think it's kind of cool to be able to have your tablet not just be a big blank kind of wasted part of your desk.
I use mine as a placemat.
Yeah, you do. You'll have your morning glass of wine right on there.
Morning glass of wine. I wish. That's where I put my sandwich, Tony.
Anyway, I think it's just a cool kind of workspace to mirror the flat workspace with the vertical workspace of the monitor. Cool concept, Dell. And I wanted to cover Sarmonic sent these mics to us, and the reason we're interested in them right now, we use Sennheiser wireless lab mics whenever we're out, and the way they work is you have one receiver for every transmitter. So if both Chelsea and I are being recorded, Justin has to have 2 separate receivers on camera, and then he uses like this Y cable to like bridge them both.
It's quite a setup.
And it's this ridiculous setup. It's non-discrete at all, and there's lots of things that fail, like we require extra batteries. Sarmonic, what's unique about them is they have one receiver for 2 transmitters. So it just means only one of these instead of 2 of them, and no Y cable.
All right.
So we're going to give them a test. We just haven't recorded anything like that yet. Stay tuned.
Oh, our t-shirts are still on sale. And so I put up this cool picture of me being photobombed by Madeline. And it doesn't say stay focused. It actually says stay focused. So
I like day focused.
yeah, you can go to sdp.io/t-shirts if you want to be cool like me and Madeline.
Okay, I'll import some. Oh, you want to do chit chat?
Sure, chit chat. You guys, you know what this is. I don't have to explain it. Scott said, not sure if this is the best place to bring this up, but I'm going back and watching older videos because YouTube took my notifications off of your channel yet again. I had a feeling because I was starting to wonder why I wasn't seeing new content popping up. So I visited your page and sure enough, notifications were turned off. So, yeah, you might want to check that. I know a lot of people are having problems with YouTube.
Do you know how to turn notifications on for a channel?
No.
I was going to make a tutorial about it because a lot of people, there's a trick to it. Let's see. Let's do SciShow. See if I can figure out how to turn notifications on. Oh, it's this bell right here.
Yep.
Oh.
Send me notifications for this channel. And then YouTube will actually notify you. So go to our channel. SciShow is cool too. But you can go to our channel and...
Silly string saves lives? You
Hit the
got
bell.
me. I'm interested.
No, I can't do it because I own the channel. But you get the idea. Hit the bell.
Okay. I like how Tony is always so chill in these videos. Wish I could be chill like him. Any tips?
The chill thing just won't end, will it?
This is what I noticed about Tony's
it's
chill.
going to keep
I
going.
don't think it's something he can really analyze as the chill person himself. I think a tip is to just like have a really cool hobby and just be Tony. Like he is naturally, he was born chill.
Okay. That seems like some real actionable tips for people.
Super Golf Dude said, you guys are like the captain and Tennille of photography. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm going to Google it. Thank you.
What? Are those guys, are his eyes real or is he like one of those like cave cats?
Okay. So I thought it was
I think he
Photoshop.
evolved to live in a low light environment.
Okay, before you keep riffing on him, will you please listen to me? He has an eye condition. I looked it up.
Shit.
I know. Shut up, Tony. I thought the same thing. I thought it was Photoshop, so I looked it up and I can't remember. His like eyeballs are too big. So sorry, Captain.
sorry, Captain.
AKA Tony. That's me. Let me get that haircut. Arthur says the histogram, they say it's a thing of the past, but millennials always trying to skip rules and shit. They are idiots, I say. Histogram doesn't lie.
Oh,
Arthur,
millennials and the histogram.
I'm a millennial. Tony's a millennial. No, he's not. Everybody's a millennial. We're not idiots. We're just peoples. Okay? You need to chill. You need to take my chill tips. Be more like Tony.
They're just not all the same, right? You can't say anything about any group because not everybody in a group is the same. Some millennials hate histograms. Most of them don't know what it is, but some of them use them. That's the way life works.
People are weird about generations. Family says, I love the show, but who is creating the thumbnails? Pretty much nobody. I looked at the thumbnail he was talking about and I'm like, I don't know who. I'm always just like have my mouth open in a really aggressive way.
Yeah, we're not great at YouTube stuff.
I don't know how we got here.
Well, let's take a look at a portfolio. I guess it's time. But Siobhan could toss us a question.
She could.
I barely can.
Sean, you need to be more confident in your abilities.
No, I only say that because I have two. Any tips for lighting senior citizens?
What?
I assume due to wrinkles, excessive wrinkles.
Yeah, first I'm going to say that you think your 80-year-old grandmother doesn't think about her appearance because it's your 80-year-old grandmother, but she does. We've discovered this in portrait work time and time again. Nobody outgrows some level of vanity. Everybody still wants to look attractive, and most people also want to look young. So don't underestimate that.
Society.
Every now and then you'll find somebody who has wrinkles and is totally comfortable with them, but that's unusual.
They're a baller. Give them a trophy.
We actually talked about it a little bit earlier, but any sort of side lighting is going to accentuate
Yeah.
wrinkles. So
A big softbox on axis with the
Yeah,
camera.
as on axis as you can get.
A little bit above and on axis, and that's going to fill in any wrinkles if they're self-conscious about them. Otherwise, and it depends. Are they a realtor looking for a picture for their business card? What you're doing with the pictures matters. If you're just taking them for you, I would accentuate the wrinkles. I love a face with character. So yeah, it depends what your client wants and what you want.
Let's look at a portfolio. This portfolio is hosted by our sponsor, Squarespace.
Squarespace.
First I want to find out a little bit about this person.
Oh, dang.
So he's got a picture of himself here on his about page. It's have a nice Matthias. Okay, his name is Matthias. That's a weird, I've never seen anybody sign it off something that way, like have a nice Tony. That's cool.
I wish I could have a nice time.
I think
Grump.
Google Chrome has automatically translated this for us, so I shouldn't be.
Yeah, this is
questioning
like
it.
when you talk
It just-
about Captain's eyes and you thought you were so funny, but you were really just a really terrible person. Okay, let's just get into it, Matthias. We don't have to listen to Tony. He's just...
I flipped through a few different portfolios and settled on this one because the pictures caught my eye, and that's really important. You should catch somebody's eye right away. He's got a big full screen interface. It's kind of active
Can I
here.
just go to picture of the day because that sounds like a big promise.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, he's pretty up to date.
Oh, that is pretty. Yeah. I can't imagine how you're going to maintain
He's going to do it.
a picture every day.
Oh my gosh, believe in him.
Sure enough, he's doing it. And he has a lot
mean,
of good pictures, too.
He aims for per day, but he's at least getting once a week, and that is respectable. Okay, you're great.
Yeah, actually some really nice pictures.
You're great. You're great. Let's go to this portfolio. I'm driving. We're going to go to Coastal. Oh, I saw his language. Okay. All right.
Beautiful colors in the picture. Nice foreground.
Is that it?
Yeah, so how do we can't like...
Landscape. Okay.
Does it scroll down? Oh,
Oh.
it scrolls down. Okay. I will say because it was full screen, that wasn't immediately obvious to us. Some of the layouts will have little arrows that you page through. But at the same time, I think most people would probably figure that out.
You got great pictures.
Yeah, and there is definitely a distinct style there. And,
Wow, this
well, I was going to say mostly
thick.
very clean foregrounds, but as I browse through the rest of the work, I'm seeing some other
I
styles.
like to do this.
That's really nice.
Okay. You have some great shots. I would still pare them down a bit. Maybe just get rid of a few. Let's go up to the top here. And do Coastal since I messed that up last time.
Beautiful.
Where do you live? All right. Great pictures.
Okay. I'm going to suggest this. I'm going to suggest bring the best pictures from each of the categories into a single category, not making people select the different categories, just showing them everything all at once. The categories are similar enough to me between like coastal and landscape that I don't feel it would be jarring to combine them. It's not like sports and weddings.
Yeah. So, all right. Your pictures are amazing. The portfolio feels a little bit overworked. And what I mean by that is I think you actually made it a little more complicated than it has to be. You have great pictures, so just display them simply. The templates at Squarespace, the way that they are is pretty good. I feel that once people really start messing with the site too much, then things can get a little bit complicated if they start kind of meddling with the design. So I would just leave the layout a little more simplified. And I just wanted to show you one more thing.
Okay. Before we head out, I want to take a look and make some specific recommendations about which photos he should definitely keep.
Capitalized city here?
Oh, well, that could be.
Oh, it's the translation,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay.
Can we just look quickly back at his portfolio? Because he had some really stunning pictures in there, and I just want to. What I'm doing is I'm giving him the homework of having to remove probably like 2/3 of his pictures.
2/3?
I want him to have like 10 to 15 pictures in his portfolio in one category.
How could you do this?
And that one is a keeper. This one is a beautiful picture. Let me see. Which of these pictures are really striking you, Chelsea? Like which?
He has a lot.
Yeah, I think
That
this
one's
picture
nice.
is really gorgeous. This picture I wouldn't keep. What do you think? Does that one stay?
So a lot of them are very similar. So you're
This
saying
one I
just
would keep.
pick the best of. That one's beautiful.
This one's really, the one with the log in the foreground is really nice. I would keep that one.
Can we see his contact information?
That one doesn't strike me. Yeah. This one is a keeper. That's a nice picture too.
So this is just kind of some general advice. Show somebody that you know, your partner, your friend, watch them navigate your site, and then you can see what they're having trouble with, and you can see if they get kind of bored looking through your stuff, and if they do, they love you so much. So if they're getting bored, everybody is. Look at your analytics too, and you can see how far people make it in your portfolio. If they're only making it to the first page and then bailing on your whole site, then something's not really working. You might need to make the scrolling component a little more obvious, and like Tony said, get rid of some of your pictures. But you have great pictures.
Let's see what Mateus had to say. Let's see what was the name of what was the URL. Mateus. Okay. He says, easy to use, quick support. I wish there was more gallery function. I did an English version now for you guys. Oh, okay. Maybe he actually contributed the translations himself. Thanks for sending it in, Mateus, and thank you, Squarespace, for making an awesome platform to make our pictures look beautiful. If you want your own Squarespace portfolio, where should they go, Chelsea?
Go to squarespace.com/Tony. You can get 14 days for free. No credit card needed. Try it out, see if you like it, or just use it as an exercise to see what your pictures look like, what your work looks like once you put it in one place. If you decide that you like it, you can use the coupon code portfolio and get 10% off. That also lets Squarespace know that, hey, we're doing a pretty good job. They make this show possible, so thank you, Squarespace.
Thanks. Even if you just sign up, even if you just use the free trial to make yourself a nice portfolio, you should do that. It's good practice.
And if it's a trial, you can send it to us too for review.
Yeah. Okay. Let's import some more pictures.
Siobhan, do you have any questions?
I do.
You do.
Someone wants to know if you have any interest in visiting Dubai.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Good answer.
It's an easy one. Yes.
Do you have any specific tips for shooting a wedding literally on top of a mountain? Like at 10,000 feet after a 10-mile hike?
Wow.
That does sound fun. I guess pack light. I don't know. I mean, you're shooting a wedding. You pretty much got to bring 2 of everything and be
Is it gonna
prepared
be
for all the
cold?
circumstances.
Is it going to be cold? You might want to bring something to, if it's hot, you might want to bring something to kind of get all the shine off of the bride and groom. Sounds like they're pretty earthy, but the pictures are going to look really unflattering if they're sweaty. So blot them off.
Yeah, Google Earth has a 3D view.
They do.
So you can put yourself at the top of the mountain without actually having to track that ahead of time and do some planning. You can adjust the time of day. Set it to the right time of day, and then you can kind of understand what the light is going to be like and do some mental planning at least. I haven't shot a wedding on top of a mountain, nor have I ever had to
unusual.
hike that far. And then just the usual wedding advice, like I would definitely bring a second hand, bring, a reflector and a diffuser so you can at least have some control over the light.
Yeah.
And
That sounds
2 of
tricky.
everything.
What else, Siobhan?
Definitely watch your alcohol intake up there too.
Oh, the alcohol hits you higher?
Yeah, for some people. Yeah, it's supposedly stronger.
Oh, interesting.
That would explain Peru. So I was having a good time on One Piece Go Sour. Okay. Oh my gosh, the cuteness of that picture.
How do you see the future of photography given that more people are learning the basic rules from social media? Will we be seeing more generic work, or will we see more diversity through sharing?
I think we're going to see better work. I know people get upset that it's becoming easier. The barrier to entry is definitely lower. Everyone has a camera on them now. That means there are more photographers, more people exposed to photography education just by seeing actual photographers' work. I think that One thing I notice is that trends hit more powerfully and fizzle out faster. So, my parents had the whole Olin Mills thing. They brought us all to get our little weird floaty face pictures. But now you see trends just coming in and out of style constantly. One nice thing about that is that it gets people to go out and shoot and try something different all the time. Otherwise, you're out of style in a year. One bad thing about that is that all work can kind of start to look derivative if people aren't putting their own spin on it. But I think that overall it's trending, it's making photography better, that more people are getting involved in taking pictures. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's been really cool to see new compositional techniques develop in the last few years as social media has taken off. Even something as simple as everybody using a smaller form factor, mobile phones, and the prominence of thumbnails has changed everything about composition. Like, it's just changed so much of how photographers work. It's exciting. I like stuff that's new and developing.
Yeah.
Okay, what I did was we're getting so many pictures where it's not really on theme, and we have plenty of pictures to go through. So I went through and sort of pared it down to those that are specifically of shadows. So let's take a look at those.
This one's simple, but what I really like about it is that you have all of these lines coming down. It looks like just staining from dripping, but it kind of makes these leading lines down to the shadow.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. I think it's an interesting shot. I was wondering about the contrast too. If you look at the histogram, you'll see it's shaped like a U, but neither side is really coming anywhere near the left or right edges, so it just means it's a little bit washed out. Just released a video on histogram, so everybody should check it out. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to push something like that all the way to the edge, but yeah, it was a little bit washed out.
I love this picture.
Yeah, I think it's a really sweet moment, and it would be a totally different picture without the shadow, even though the shadow really is just mirroring their own shape there, the visible shape. I think it really aids. I gave it a pick. Mm-hmm. Great shot. Very similar shot, but I don't know, the shadow here doesn't have as much shape.
Yeah, and also
it doesn't tell an interesting
the
story.
shadow here is blocking a part of the picture that would have otherwise seemed cluttered or taking up too much space.
Good point.
And here you still have this distracting element here, but I still do like it. It's nice. I like this one. I'm tempted to put it in black and white to focus more on the shadow.
Yeah, my one gripe with it is that you cropped into the shadow of his antenna, and I think that's like a key part of the subject. But what I like about this is you actually get a better view of the insect in the shadow than you do on his person, because it's showing you it from a profile. So like I said, it gives you two views of a single subject this way. I think it's a perfect use of it. Yeah, I might brighten it up a little bit, but nicely done. Perfect example. Here his shadow, you don't even necessarily see it at first. I mean, it's in there, but it doesn't feel like a deliberate part of the composition. What is more prominent is the shadow of the streetlight, but that doesn't really add anything to the story for me.
Maybe if you really crop it down.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to go.
The bird.
Yeah, I think that's really cute. I don't know that I've ever seen such a distinct shadow of a bird before.
A man on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I think it's
the colors.
It's a cool shot. I think it's a selfie, and it tells you a little bit about him without it being a selfie. And I love the distorted angles of it. I'll give it a pick. I actually like the colors of it initially. I like that.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm going to give that a pick.
Yeah, that one definitely deserves a pick.
It's simple because the shadow can just be overwhelmed so easily in a photo. So if you have a lot of different textures and colors and distracting background elements, then it's going to overpower the shadow. And this is just simplified. Same with this one. This is great. I would just make this Snow White. A little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to completely lose the texture, but do make it nice and bright.
Very cool. I'm going to give that one a pick.
Yeah, great shot.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We blew out the highlights here like cray.
Yeah, it's weird. They blew out the highlights and then they recovered them because they're still not touching the right side. But it's a creative take on it. It's certainly plenty of contrast, and it definitely fits the theme because the subject is, like, the shadow is a key part of the subject.
I've seen this.
Yeah, this is kind of a classic shot.
The white balance. Let's see if auto does it.
That's
And-
pretty close.
I think I'd take it black and white. Then the shadow is more prominent. Whoa.
This one baffles me. What it must
He's
be.
hanging.
Oh, I did not even see that guy. Okay, well, it definitely got me to study the shot a
Look
little
at his
bit
friend. He's like, not again.
and rewarded some exploration. I didn't see the guy up there. I didn't know what the source of the shadow was, but the shadow itself is really interesting. It almost has like a look of a raven or something. So I'll give that one a pick. I just think it's an interesting, like, slice of life kind of
So
shot.
weird. I want to know that guy's story. Oh, maybe they're doing parkour and
Yeah,
he's jumping off of
that's
the wall.
totally it.
I thought he was swinging from a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, he's flipping off the wall.
Come on, Justin. Well, you got to fill us in when you know this.
I thought, sorry.
Should be sorry.
Yeah, you'd be sorry. Okay. I think that this could, use a little storytelling.
Yeah, you're
And
telling a
stuff.
two-dimensional story here. So what you could do is move your bodies away a little bit and maybe hold hands and just make sure like there's plenty of separation.
Maybe he's trying to say his heart is a rock.
But yeah, I can see like you have one arm here, but you're losing the shape of your arm, so it just becomes like your arm becomes like a weird bump off the
Maybe
side of
his
your body.
arm is a small boy.
Yeah, it could be anything, right? It doesn't really tell us.
This shot is awesome. It's by Siobhan. She wrote a blog about it on
Yeah.
how she made it. And this is my little friend Wheezy. She would never be afraid of a dragon, so that kind of ruins the mystery for me. But it really creative. And the shadow is the subject. Siobhan's been doing photography for like a minute, and she did this.
Yeah, step up your game, people. I'm giving that a pick. It's just a fantastic shot, and I love that she put some effort into it. She clearly put some thought into it, made a story out of it.
Story.
She engaged somebody else to be a model, and
Her baby.
it's fantastic. Great job, Siobhan. How did you make that silhouette?
You're gonna have to read the blog.
I went through a number of Eloise's toys and found the one that would cast the most distinctive, interesting shadow.
Uh-huh.
And I propped it up on her dresser and put my cell phone with the flashlight on behind it and positioned it so it would be the right size and in the right place.
That's fantastic. So like zero budget, you just worked with available stuff and the light on your cell phone. That's fantastic. I love that story.
Girls are so smart. Siobhan laughs.
Well, it had to become a gender thing.
Isn't it always?
It's so cool, except it just touches the top of his head.
I know, but I want to give it a pick because it's just like very Alfred Hitchcock to me, and I love it. I love it. And look at these two creepy shadows. You are cool as heck, mystery person.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
It was
I
kind
still
of
love it.
cooler zoomed in, though.
I kind of liked it. Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda
we were
liked it
complaining about your
abstracted.
composition. It was just zoomed in. But now I feel like
I
we
mean,
want to
it's
crop
still
it down.
so great, but I kind of fell in love with something else. But
That's-
I think
that's
the
pretty
original's
cool, though.
good. I think the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's stronger with a crop. Sometimes you get that accidental crop in there.
This makes me feel love. It's good. It's good. I like the color. I like the.
Yeah, a little splash of color there.
I would crop it, I think, because when you marry Tony Northrup, you take the crop.
It was in her vows.
It was in my vows. Look at this skeptical little pupper. Very spooky pupper.
One thing I like when we take our dogs for a walk at night, the streetlights will cast these shadows from the dogs that make these
Look like a scary
goofy dummies. Yeah, just look like big dangerous animals.
This is cute, so I'm gonna give it a pick.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Siobhan, do you have any more questions, comments? Like, are people so blown away by your picture? Did I love my sweater? Like, what's going on?
I'm fighting with a lot of people today
Why? Don't do that.
because dudes are just being rude.
About what?
Everything, all the time. I do have questions, though. Ooh, this is a good one. How do you overcome the "my friend can do it for this much money, so I'll just go with them" when talking about pricing for photo shoots?
I just say, good. Do that, cheap ass. Just kidding. I don't say that. I'll just say, yeah, if you can find a better deal, do it. Because if someone doesn't see your value, like, you're not going to convince them, and they might learn it once they work with someone else. I've also noticed it's kind of frustrating as a photographer. Sometimes people don't really see the difference in the quality of work that a trained eye would. So just let them go with it. If they're happy with it and that's what they can afford, you don't have to bring down your price. You can just wait until someone comes along that sees your value.
Yeah, I think it depends on the project too. If it's a wedding, I think it's an easier sale.
Yeah.
Because you can say that, I mean, clearly you have to be able to demonstrate some value. You have to have some experience. You have to be able to say, how many weddings has your friend shot? Are you willing to not have any pictures? Because if they don't get the shot, they won't be able to go back and do it again. It's not something you can learn on the spot. Weddings are kind of the most common thing where somebody's going to hire their friend for super cheap. It also happens with portraits.
If it's a big job, it might be worth persuading them. If it's if it's not a big job for you, I wouldn't. A wedding, maybe I might say, okay, if that's what you can afford, then that's your only option. But I will say it's important to consider, the possible outcomes.
Yeah, somebody who's you can sell somebody on your skill versus a first-time wedding photographer. You can focus on the fact that you have processes to make sure that there are no failures. You have redundancy for everything. You know exactly where to stand. Like, your friend probably doesn't know where they need to be during the ceremony in order to get the right shot. They probably don't have the Photoshop and post-processing skills to produce absolutely gorgeous results and make the client look wonderful. They probably don't have those skills.
Yeah.
You can't try too hard with it. You should say, this is my price. If you found a great deal and they can do great work, then I encourage you to go for that. Portraits, I think, are a little bit harder because if you're doing a portrait, you can say, good, pay your friend $50 and I hope it turns out great. But if you don't think you look fantastic, if you don't want to put that picture on your wall and show all your friends, then come to me afterwards. Because with a portrait, you can reshoot it. With a wedding, you only get that one try.
Yeah. I will say that just based on some of the things that I've seen, people are really happy with pictures that are completely out of focus, have chromatic aberration everywhere, motion blur, way oversaturated, cheesy filters, and I'll see people share them and I just think, I don't know. I'm very confused by the world right now.
But if they are genuinely happy with that, then they really don't need a skilled photographer, and that becomes more and more common.
Yeah, and if they don't have the budget, if someone really only has $50 to pay a photographer, then that's what they find. Maybe someone fresh out of school or almost willing to work for free or something. So
yeah, and even as a photographer, we're all at that point. Like, I also empathize with that first-time photographer. But it is hard to sell against, and the job of being a professional photographer and making a living at it gets increasingly difficult. You have to have, I'm not trying to plug Squarespace, but you do have to have a great portfolio
we are, though.
in place.
Well, I will say,
no matter where you host it, you have to have your pictures looking awesome. And you can say, look at my portfolio and look at your friend's portfolio. And if you think your friend's pictures are better or just worth your budget, then do that.
Circling back to my point about people being happy with photos that a trained photographer might think are, beginner or not so good. One way to kind of work around that is to focus on the experience that your client has. And I have some friends and they're photographers and they're working photographers. I do these videos and things, so I'm not making my money just from shooting constantly. But what they do is they put together a presentation for the untrained eye that makes it an experience. It's not just about the photo. So have prints to show them. Have a place that you take them to show them their prints. Have a good website to make you look professional. Have a menu of what they can order to make it easy, because not everyone understands the process of being a photographer. You have to get in their head because you're trying to make the sale. They don't have to work to understand you. So get in their head, have a good presentation, have a professional website, have good prints to show them your value. And that's different than just saying, oh, you won't use me. Make them see why you're different. And that's something you'll have to do if you're a working photographer. You have to stand out. I see people do it just by having leather-bound books and all the things you might think, oh, well, once the pictures are done, anyone can do that. You have to use their imagination for them and show them what's possible when you're their photographer. So,
yeah, who would answer that question better than we could is Samantha Shannon.
Yeah.
We should have her back in and
Yeah,
go
there's
over
a
her
whole,
process.
she showed me a whole, so even though it's not something that I do, I watch a lot of photography communities for you guys to get an idea of, what's going on out there. And there's in-person sales is something a lot of photographers are doing. They take pictures, they refuse to shoot to burn. They're not going to just give you the files and let you post them and edit them yourself. They print your photos, they put them on a wall, they bring the client in, and then they sell those prints at a markup, which I think is completely fair because you're putting the time into making a finished product. And that way, you're not just a photographer, you're also selling the experience of getting the finished product instead of just putting a file out there, which isn't really helpful for you. So yeah, look into that part of it, definitely.
Let's take a look at a few more pictures.
I like the shadows a lot. There's not even really a specific subject here, but it's like accenting the architecture, and the light is really pretty, and the shadows are making these very cool lines.
Yeah, I do like the way they're kind of radiating from here. That's my favorite part of it. I will say I felt a little distracted by like this well-lit post here.
A little garbage.
But what can you do? This is more about a spot than a shadow.
Yeah.
But
the absence of shadow.
You know what it is? I think this photo needs to be composed around these two key elements, and they need to be in an interesting place. Right now, it's a little unbalanced. We just need to pretend that those are just two arbitrary elements and find a way to really position them in an interesting way. And I wish I could expand it back a little bit because it's getting a little too tight. But hopefully I made my point. You know what I mean? Like, you just need to look at this as two dots and then think, what's the most interesting way to put them in the frame? And that's not it, because I would need to go wider.
Yeah.
Shadows aren't a key element here. And I'm also like searching around for a focal point of some
You
kind.
get some natural framing. Put a little bear at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah, get a bear. It's a cool
Get a bear.
spot.
Just get a bear. Come on, guys. Sound shadow.
Yeah, so here they definitely...
Sound shadow sounds like a superhero.
This shot is only balanced because of the shadow. I do think black and white is a good choice here because the colors, and maybe the white balance is just off. The colors look a little unnatural.
Look, wait. Does she have sunglasses on? This is more silhouette than shadow. Is that Sandy? Patriotic
Very
Sandy.
patriotic. Yeah, the shadows in that last one didn't tell me any
That's
part
a
of the
very,
story.
like, someone already did the work of the shadow. But so I agree, that's cool, but you know what I mean? This is some kind of spooky witch ceremony. Oh, these are the shadows. Okay.
Yeah, I think this works way better in black and white. And, I know you as a photographer couldn't control it, but I wish the drapes were ironed.
Oh,
Just,
wow, you had to go there.
don't you feel like it's a little distracting? Maybe a long exposure would have helped her. Capture some of that movement, make it just blurry.
I like this picture. Oh, is that a knife? I'm going to give it a pick. You did something different.
Speaking of long exposures, I don't really know what's going on, but it is a cool shape.
Yeah, I'm scared. It's a ghost.
There
I see
are
no
almost no
shadow.
shadows here, but it's a silhouette.
That'd be good for the natural framing one next week.
Yeah. Sorry. So here the shadows do
They're
draw your eye
cozy.
back to the sun. I think that's cool, and the rest of the picture is nice too.
These are cat heads, or are these monkeys?
Well, I've never seen a display like that. It says wallow skulls. Do you know what a wallow is, Justin?
Wall o' skulls.
Oh, wallow skull.
Yeah.
I thought it was a series of some animal named a wallow that I hadn't
It's
heard
kind of
of.
like in Game of Thrones with all the faces, though.
Yeah.
A man has no skull.
There you go.
This is a little shadowy.
Hey, look where it's from.
Bodhi! Bodhi is for bitches!
Oh my God, this guy went to Bodhi. Okay, we're sorry. I don't know. That's an inside joke that nobody gets. Justin,
This actually...
we're all really excited.
Wait, do you
we
think
haven't
Eric,
been to Bodhi.
Do you think Eric submitted this? Does he No, he doesn't have
No,
a camera.
it would be
Oh,
60.
when we were in California, we went to Cerro Gordo, which is a real ghost town for cool people. And Eric said that he could take us to Bodie. Oh, no, it was... You're probably so bored with my story already. Anyway, Bodie's another ghost town that we could have gone to, but it's more touristy. So we were just joking the whole time, like Robert, the guy that owns Cerro Gordo, would have been mad. Bodie was for bitches. Anyway, that was really boring. Sorry, let's just keep going. I would give you a pick, but you can't. Bodie. Mournful man. He's a little distorted, but I like the cemetery sign, and there's a dude, and that's a cool thing. And I would just take this in black and white. And
I almost wonder if you couldn't transform this in Photoshop just a little bit. To make the shape a little more distinct, because I didn't immediately get that it was a man. But the elements that are coming together here are really cool.
I'm going to give it a pick because I liked your idea.
Yeah. I would just go back and repose it. Like maybe you can even get that guy to just move a little bit.
I think I deleted his picture. I'm very sorry. This is a shadowy picture, but I wouldn't say shadows are the subject, but it's still nice. I love the composition and that light.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool
dramatic.
picture. Oh, there's shadows.
Yeah, the shadow's helping to convey the setting sun. Might need to be warmed up a little bit.
This is a fence shadow. Aperture plate. Who is that?
It's a nice shot.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is really pretty. Yeah, I give that one a pick too. If you give it a pick, it disappears. The way I have it set up now. There are basically no shadows here. There's a little bit of a shadow,
there's
but
this little shadow.
I would definitely level that horizon. You know,
Little nice
how I am
shadow. Oh, this is
okay.
cool.
That is cool.
Okay,
I
now
like
we're
that a
in
lot,
business.
especially with the other bird right over it. I'm giving that one a pick.
But it disappeared.
Sorry, I make that.
This is actually a terrible idea that you've put in place.
I'll just verbally say that I give you a pick. Thank you for your picture. We got to level this, right? We got these like prominent lines here. Let's just straighten the sky in
This
the
is
center out.
Berlin. Oh no, I ran out of juice.
Yeah, me too. Juice. Maybe I went too far with it. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
level that out. But the shadows here are very powerful. Nice shot.
Powerful Shadow. A good band name for Siobhan's imaginary band.
Oh, we can figure out what time it is. It's like 11:45,
Let's not.
or I don't know. Why do they have both Roman numerals and regular human numerals?
I mean, shadows are a part of this. They make it spooky. These.
Yeah, it's a good picture. Shadows aren't part of the theme really, but it's a cool picture. I love that the fog is doing its job there.
The fog is doing its job. I like it. I'm going to give it a pick. That's about that shadow. Love it. Because without it, the statue would have been very small on its own. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I like those shadows. Tony, tell me how you feel.
I would, increase the contrast a little bit, bring them out and make them a little more powerful. I think the black and white helped accentuate it too. Oh,
Whoa.
okay. That's creative.
Whoa,
This is
okay.
genuinely creative. I'm giving that one a pick. And then I'm
And then
going
it
to
disappeared.
undo it so I can actually look at it.
Okay.
That turned out to be, that's a fantastic idea.
I'm really impressed by their ability to draw straight lines and have them intersect.
How did they suspend the pencils like that?
So
It's such a cool idea.
They have at least 5 friends.
Awesome. Great job.
I like that. They have 5 friends. Like each one has to hold a pencil with 2 hands. Can we just go out
They're
yet?
very crowded
This is
together.
Weird. He's drowning in shadows. Fruit Loops, this one's called. Y'all's is crazy.
Yeah, I think the composition is really interesting.
This is interesting.
It's deeply off-center.
I'd give it a pick, but we all know what happens now. Okay. This is nice.
My eye just doesn't rest
This is
anywhere.
wood.
It's kind of like a splash of color, but
Ooh,
here the shadow just tells me
dancing
that there
tree.
is a tree behind me, but it's not, it doesn't like add to the story. Just, hey, there's also
think
a
it's
tree
cool.
behind you.
Whoa. No, I like it. Okay.
It's a cool shot, but yeah,
It's very
shadows aren't
cool.
part of the theme, really. Oh, that's cool.
This is a peregrine falcon.
Yeah,
It's the fastest animal on Earth. It can go 5,000 miles per hour.
it's pretty amazing.
Good shadows. It looks like he's walking on a piano like that movie Big. Remember, guys?
Of course I remember.
Heart and soul.
Thanks, Justin. I gave it a pick and it disappeared forever.
Shadows are cool here, but yeah, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't strike me.
Anthony Jackson.
I like the general lines and the contrast of it. Here the shadows, I don't know, if they were doing something. There
I like
are
that
shadows, but maybe if they were
they look
facing
like
more
they're-
completely away from each other.
They look like they're fighting. They're back to back. All right, the shadow is doing something. Edit, edit, edit. You've been working on this one.
Yeah, I have
The file
files
name?
named like that too. That means
Me
they
too.
opened it in Photoshop 3 times. You look at it, you're like, oh, I could do a little more.
And then my names get worse. It's like girl and chair. Edit, edit, edit 1. Okay.
Since you're working the shadow like that, I think the hat might be an interesting opportunity to make a creative shadow.
Oh, like if she was like,
Yeah, but as it is, the shadow is kind of formless.
okay.
So you might work her pose in her outfit.
Shadows rotate, but I don't see any shadows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys. Oh, well, this one, you know, the shadows are becoming the shapes. So I get that. I'm going to give this one a pick. Yeah, I like that tree.
Yeah, it has a nice mood to it. Oh, this is one of those trams.
It's 6:03, so now we're in
Overtime?
Yeah, we're in overtime.
OT.
Okay, so the subject, not the shadows, but it's a cool picture. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, it's cool.
the lines here became pretty
Pick.
prominent.
Oh, disappeared. We saw this one. Cool baby.
Cool baby. The shadows aren't distinct
Siobhan,
enough
do you have
here.
any more questions or comments? What that one say?
Sure.
That's
The
cool.
Holocaust memorial.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is in Berlin. Ouch, I hurt myself.
That's
Tony,
pretty. Yeah.
you've been posting bird photos on Instagram with the 5DSR.
Yeah.
I thought you would use a camera more like the 7D or the D500 for wildlife.
I use the D500 for flying birds and stuff, or when I have to crop. But most of those pictures are taken from like my little home setup here, so I can get really close. And in that case, I don't necessarily need to crop. I have like a really good Canon lens, the 500 millimeter f4. If I had a great Nikon lens, maybe I'd use the D500. But anyway, for those perch bird shots, I don't really need like the high shutter rate or anything, and the 5DSR is awesome.
I like this picture.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. You have any other questions? That's
I
pretty.
do.
That's really pretty. Beautiful.
Speaking of wildlife, someone says they take photos of their dogs running, doing action things, and they seem to constantly get their noses in focus and just miss the eye. Suggestions on how to get the eye in focus. They are using an A6500 with a 70 to 200 f4.
Plus art.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough. The eye detection autofocus that's built into the camera it can't keep up with something like that. It's not good for action shots.
Well, running towards you is especially difficult with any camera.
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed with those Sonys is the autofocus points they're always kind of large, and it's going to latch onto whatever it sees first, basically. So it's probably just going to miss those shots. Now, if you use something like a D500 or a lot of different DSLRs, they will have more precise focusing points that are much easier to put on the eye. So it's just the difference in how the focusing works is going to be the difference between getting the shot or not. So most of the time, either camera would do the job, but yeah, that's kind of a job for a DSLR.
We're getting so many great pictures. Anything else, Siobhan, before we go?
Oh, that's beautiful.
I know, but no shout out.
Yes. Are you excited for the rumored RGBW sensors in next-gen cameras?
This is a great shadow picture. Let me just give that a pick, and then Tony.
I am excited about that. I have not seen those rumors, but I am interested in alternate sensor layouts like that. So just so everybody else knows what we're talking about, most cameras have what they call a bare filter, where each set of 4 pixels, like 4 photo sites, is red, green, blue, green. 2 greens because human eyes are more sensitive to green. And that kind of mirrors the red, green, and blue sensors that we have in our own eyes, receptors that we have in our own eyes. There's a bunch of different alternate layouts which can provide better sensitivity, but the one she's talking about is red, green, blue, and then basically a luminance sensor that would detect the entire spectrum, no matter whether, so that white pixel would pick up red light, green light, blue light, everything. So the problem with bare filters is they really only gather about a third of the light in many conditions. Like if you are taking pictures of something red, only those red pixels are going to be able to see the subject at all. So you're only using 1 out of 4 of your pixels. You're not getting that much detail. You're going to get a lot more noise, 4 times more noise. Wouldn't make a difference on a white subject because like any of those pixels could pick up white stuff. Well, it would still make a difference. Actually, you'd get noisier images. But with that extra white sensor in there, Lightroom or whatever could still kind of debar it. Wouldn't be debarring technically, but it would still be able to blend it together. And you would just get cleaner images, substantially cleaner images, maybe twice as clean. So you get half as much noise, basically. It's cool. I hope they can work it out. I don't know why they haven't done it in the past. I've reached out to camera manufacturers and actually asked, like, why don't you do this? But never gotten a good answer.
They're probably like, "Ugh, it's that Tony Northrup guy again."
I know Huawei actually put one in a smartphone camera not too long ago.
Oh,
So yeah, but long story short, I'm excited. Did you go through all the pictures?
I did.
Are we ready to
I
get
wanted
out
to
of
show
here?
you some ones that I liked while you were talking.
Okay.
I thought this one was cute.
That is cute. Oh yeah, it got like a Batman shadow in the background.
I
Yeah.
thought this one was really cool.
Use a harder light, like a focus light, like flashlight,
Yeah.
to get that shadow a little more distinct on that
I
Batman.
love this one.
Yeah, that is cool.
This one's really cool.
Mhm.
This one, it's the person's in the shadows, but I still like it a lot. Yeah. A lot of good pictures this show. Okay, so check out our travel show, Wanderlust. We put our first episode up. It's stp.io/WL1. And thank you, Squarespace, for making this show possible, making these reviews possible.
Should we play the intro to the travel show?
Oh, yeah,
since
sure. You're
we
here.
got it all set up. You want to turn the audio on, Justin?
Can you do that?
I'll unmute my computer. Is it ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's see if this
I'm
works.
scared. In this episode of Wanderlust,
hit
we
the
meet up
speakers.
with landscape photographers Eric and Stephanie Lowenbach. We lose their dog, explore the desert, find ancient petroglyphs, scout a morning shoot, and of course, drink. We're Chelsea and Tony Northrup, professional photographers and YouTubers who travel the world in pursuit of beautiful sights, interesting people, and stunning photos. Not only will we be traveling the world, but we'll be doing it with you, our viewers. Join us on an adventure we call Wanderlust.
That's it.
That's the intro.
I hope you check it out. The rest of the episode should be posted soon, but the first one is already up. Thank you to our sponsor, Squarespace, for making all of this possible. You can go to squarespace.com/Tony, get a 14-day free trial, make your pictures look awesome, or set up a website for whatever profession you might have. Like Justin, like what other profession might benefit from a Squarespace website?
Other than a cobbler.
Cartographer.
A cartographer. That's a great suggestion. A lot of people make their living as cartographers
How about
nowadays.
a doctor's office? Since whenever I try to look up a new doctor to go to, their website is pretty bad.
Yeah, you know what? Every contractor out there has a terrible website.
Yeah. Come on, guys, step it up. It's like starts at like $9 a month or something.
After your free trial, use the coupon code Portfolio to get 10% off. Thank you, Squarespace. Thank you, Siobhan, an affiliate, for screening everything. Thank you, Justin, for making everything work. And we'll see you guys next week where the theme is natural framing.
Natural framing. Bye,
Bye, guys.
everybody. There's TR, my friend. You okay, Justin?
That is all.